death threat.
For 2 weeks, the French authorities dismissed the idea that a second car was involved in the crash. Then finally, they admitted to finding a mysterious scratch on the Mercedes that contained paint fragments and bumper material identified as coming from a white Fiat Uno.
It was our investigators, not the French police, who found the Fiat Uno. It was found in a garage in Paris and traced to a paparazzi named James Anderson. Anderson was an Anglophile with close connections to the British. According to Anderson, he was in Paris at the time of the crash, but for some unexplained reason decided to get up at 3:30 a.m., 2 hours after the crash, and board a flight to Corsica from Orly Airport in Paris. The French police and the magistrate accepted an alibi based on a simple gas receipt from Anderson, albeit that the paint and bumper samples from the white Fiat Uno matched those left on the Mercedes.
3 years later, the Anderson story took an unexpected and sinister turn.
On the 5th of May 2000, Philip Anderson was found burned to death in his car. The car was locked. He could only be identified from dental records. The French officials claimed that this was suicide, but it's not a suicide known to this world.
Just a month before the crash, the Chicago Tribune had reported that Diana told reporters from the Al Fayed yacht,
"You are going to get a big surprise with the next thing I do."
The reason Dodi and Diana arrived to Paris on the 30th of August to pick their engagement ring.
Security camera video footage taken by the Ritz Hotel clearly shows Dodi, accompanied by his bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones, going to the Ripossi Jewelers opposite the Ritz, where he picked up the engagement ring for Princess Diana. This should put to rest claims by the British establishment press that the engagement was a sham. It should also put to rest the claims in the book supposedly written by Trevor Rees-Jones that there was no engagement. I do believe that this book was not written by him, but by the security services.
Meanwhile, back at Buckingham Palace, how was the royal family responding to Diana's rapidly developing relationship with Dodi Al Fayed?
Prince Philip was openly opposed to the relationship between Princess Diana and Dodi, who he described as an oily bedhopper.
Prince Philip will never have allowed my son, as an Egyptian, naturally tan, will be the stepfather of Prince William and the future king.
And what were the links between MI6, the royal household, and American intelligence agencies?
MI6 is routinely asked by the royal household to provide intelligence on potential threats to members of the royal family. This service would frequently extend to asking friendly intelligence services, such as the CIA, to place members of the royal family under discreet surveillance, ostensibly for their own protection. MI6 documents reveal vital information about the surveillance of Princess Diana in the days leading up to her death.
Did Diana herself feel threatened by the royal family and the British Secret Services? One of Diana's former love interests, James Hewitt, believes that Diana feared for her life. And according to Hewitt, he was himself threatened during their relationship. And Diana confided her fear of the royals to Mohammed Al Fayed.
And always she expecting that something gonna happen to her one day. She fly in a helicopter and if a helicopter will be blown up or anything, you know, because all the time she is suspicious that the palace would not let her survive.
But is there proof that both British MI6 and American intelligence agencies were conducting full-blown surveillances of Diana and Dodi in their final months and days? Is there anything that would add credence to Al Fayed's accusations?
We've learned that Richard Spearman, the chief of staff to the director of MI6, the late Sir David Spedding, and Nicholas Langman, a senior MI6 agent, were at the British Embassy in Paris immediately prior to and after the crash.
We've confirmed the NSA has more than 1,000 pages of documents in its possession. The CIA and the FBI have also confirmed they have records. We've initiated litigation against the government, but so far it's blocked every effort we've made to try and gain access to this information.
The trail of evidence appears to lead to people and top-secret documents of both British and American intelligence services. And recent testimony reveals that Diana spoke freely of her fears for her life at the hands of the British Secret Services, MI6 and MI5. She is reported to have stated publicly,
"Someday I shall go up in a helicopter and it'll just blow up. MI5 will do away with me."
The evidence and facts which I know, for example, the plan to assassinate Slobodan Milosevic, the fact that Henri Paul was a paid informer for MI6, all of these facts point to me very strongly that this crash was engineered and that it was an assassination, a murder.
some questions about how, what, or who killed Princess Di will likely never be answered to everyone's satisfaction. But sooner or later, the world will discover who killed Princess Di.